Well, welcome to the channel, everybody. Well, today we are using the blade again after I did some modifications. Funny thing is, some of the viewers that have watched the first video have made some suggestions and a closer look at the blade, and there's a big nut on the bottom where the spring is. So I was able to tighten that nut up, and between that and the chain, this is helping an awful lot. Now, I haven't put a pipe on or shoes on yet, but I think I'm steering to shoes. Like one viewer suggested, if you put shoes on, it gives you a little more flexibility than the pipe. The pipe option might be able to be done as well, but made so it can be taken on and off. So I'm still looking into that. I did go buy a set of shoes at my local PA, Princess Auto, the US or the Canadian version of Harbor Freight, but they didn't have any in stock, so it's that time of year, but they have some coming. So I think I will put some shoes on it so I can have that ability to adjust up and down depending on the time of year. Early spring and fall, when the ground is still soft, it will be nice to have some shoes on. Now, this driveway is not bad because most of the driveway is frozen, other than where I just came off of. There's a little lip there and there's grass. It's still fairly soft, but where the driveway has got a fair amount of ice on it and is frozen, it's plowing the very best. Now, I've plowed this driveway for a couple of years with a Thomas skid steer. I think it was a 1994, a 177 or a T133, I think it was. So not an overly big machine, and I used an angle blade on it. But the old skid steer, she didn't drive very fast, so it didn't throw the snow very well sideways. Now, this is working pretty good. You do see the tractor getting poles from side to side because of the blade, but I have a set of chains coming, and I will try a set of chains on the front to try to help with some traction on the front and give me a little more steering ability. Now, I've tried plowing with float, and if you use the float, it will actually pick up the front of the tractor, and it kind of makes it worse. So now, if I find the snow is too heavy and it's pushing me too much, if I put the blade straight, it actually just pushes and it doesn't pull the tractor all over the place. So it does work good. At this time, I almost think that it was a little quicker to do this snowfall with this blade. Now, I would say this blade's probably, this is an 86-inch blade. It's probably 20 inches wider than if you bought a specific blade for this tractor. And it's probably a little bit heavier duty than if you bought one for this tractor. So it's a little bit heavier and it's a lot wider. But the tractor's working it pretty good, and I'm quite pleased with it, the way it's working, and the ability to shift the angle from left to right on the fly through the third function. It's working pretty good, and I just keep working my way back and forth, and I normally can't push a full blade, the box blade coming up in this direction. There's just a slight grade, so it's actually working pretty good. I'm quite pleased, and it actually does the final cleanup. Awesome. It really did a nice job here today. Mind you, we only have maybe 4 or 5 inches of snow. I don't think there's 6 there, and but it cleaned it up pretty quick. I did check the time when I started and got into doing some other stuff and forgot to check the time before I left, so not exactly sure of how long it took me. Normally it takes me an hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes, depending on how much snow we have. So the more snow, it takes a little longer, of course. I've plowed this driveway on a couple occasions after snowfall that has been heavy and wet. That's a pain in the butt. You almost need to use the bucket, the narrower bucket, and just keep working back and forth, because the tractor's not light, and if there's any ice underneath the heavy wet snow, it's just terrible to try to get traction to push it. So depending on how heavy the snow is, sometimes you need to use just the bucket, just so you aren't pushing as much. Or even the rear box blade works good for it as well. But yeah, I'm quite pleased. Hopefully I don't run over my camera, because I did that last week. I mounted it on the front of the box blade and it fell off, and I backed over top of it before I noticed it fell off. You know, I have to say I'm pretty impressed with this little tractor. It's not huge, but it does do a pile of work, and I work it pretty hard. I originally bought the tractor to be able to plow my driveway and mow my lawn. Now, we bought a property that has 5.5 acres, and we mow the majority of it, other than where there's some houses and some trees. Between this tractor and the little ride-on tractor, we mow it all. I have another property that has about 2 acres of grass, and another one that has about 1 acre. So we mow a fair amount of grass, and that's what I bought this for. I have a few rental units that I look after, so I have to plow those out and mow the grass there. So that's what I bought this tractor for originally. Basically just for myself, and do some yard work and mow the lawn and plow the yard, that type of thing. So I didn't buy it to plow this churchyard or do the grading I do with it on local ATV trails. But the tractor is doing the work I'm asking it to do. So if you're thinking about buying a tractor, my suggestion would be to buy the biggest tractor that you can afford, is what I was told. A small tractor will do the work of a big tractor. It will just take longer to do it. But buy the biggest one that you think you can afford. I wish I'd have went one frame size bigger than this one when I bought this one in some ways, and in other ways, yeah, I'm tore up on that. Not sure. I am happy with this tractor, just the fact that I'm getting into more stuff today. So I have a little over 1,000 hours on this tractor. I think I'm at about 1,200 hours. Again, the tractor works really, really well. It worked great for what I originally bought it for. I use this tractor for a lot of different things. Of course, I use it for snow plowing. I have a tiller for it. I have a stump grinder for it. I have a rake. I have my grader. I have another trail grader. I've got 2 different graders. I have the rear box blade. I have a sander that I use on the front. You have a rear fertilizer spreader. I have a grapple for the front. I have a set of forks. The forks are tremendous how much I use the forks. When you buy a tractor, or you're thinking you don't need a tractor, then you buy a tractor and it's like you use the tractor for so many different things. It's unreal. I do have the rear deck, mowing deck. I have an offset flail mower for it. I've bought a lot of stuff here over the last 4 years. I do have a big leaf blower, 3-point hips leaf blower I bought for it. It's funny, this year we didn't have any leaves, but the year before, the amount of leaves I had was ridiculous. I don't know if the wind blew all the leaves away and I didn't have to worry about them, but we just didn't have the leaves this year as we did the year before. So I use this tractor for a number of activities, and I use it almost on a daily basis. It does work very well, and I'm very pleased. I can't really say that I'm a Kubota person versus a John Deere person. The reason why I went with Kubota on the big part was the fact that the Kubota dealer was closer to me than the John Deere dealer. There were some other reasons, some of the price points, and the amount of hours they were allowing me on the Kubota made a difference as well. So, but yeah, the biggest part was the Kubota dealer was handy and more convenient for me if I had some issues to get some work done. So this, back to plowing. This is only the second storm we've had. I think this is the third time I plowed the church. There was one time I thought I was going to plow, but it just, the way it snowed and rained, it just turned to ice. So that's why I've got so much ice in the parking lot here today. But I may have to go and purchase some salt so I can get some bare pavement here in the near future. So I'm going to play that by ear, go buy a 5 or 10 bags of salt and get some milking going on. But anyway, I'm assuming in February we'll be getting a few more storms and we'll have lots of time to plow. Usually by the end of the winter I'm getting tired of plowing, but so far we didn't get a whole lot of snow to plow. And it almost seems to be a common occurrence all over the place. A lot of the YouTubers I watch are in the same boat. They're not getting the snow and not able to do any amount of plowing this year. So when I do get a chance to get out and have some tractor time, I am certainly enjoying it. And each time I try a new piece of equipment like this blade, it's a learning process because the box blade works different than the plow blade, and it just takes a little bit of time to get used to how it reacts, how it works, and I enjoy learning new pieces of equipment when I purchase them. So yeah, so we're just going to enjoy some plowing here, and if you have any questions on this blade, it's a TMG, or no, this one's a Wolverine. It's made by Wolverine. It's just a blade that was sold at a local auction that I bought last summer, and I thought I got it for a decent price, so I was pleased with that. And I wanted a blade that would angle, so I purchased this one. I had started building a new blade from a truck blade. The only problem with that is the truck blade sticks out a long ways from the skid steer connection, so it actually puts a lot more stress on the front end loader. I just haven't finished building it. It would be fine on a bigger tractor, but I think I was going to have to modify that blade quite a bit before it was going to work well on this tractor. So I didn't. So I haven't finished it. It's partially built, and so I opted to go with this one instead. Anyway, we're just finishing up the driveway here at the church, and my initial thought on this blade was I really was not happy with the way it was working. But now that I've been able to tighten up the big nuts on the bottom of the spring and put the chain on so it doesn't flip over all the way to the ground, and I'm pretty pleased the way it's working. And it all depends on the type of snow you're plowing and how much you're digging in. So once we get some frozen ground, it will certainly make a difference. So, but other than that, I'm very pleased, and I'm glad I purchased it. Hey everyone, thank you for joining in today. I just finished plowing. I'm quite pleased with the way the blade worked. The little modifications I did actually helped a lot. Now that it's not flipping over every 10 seconds. It's going to work pretty good. I think the church driveway, this last storm wasn't bad because there was only maybe 4 inches of snow, but I think it went quicker, being able to angle it and move it over and work that way. So that worked pretty good. I was pleased with that. Anyway, I thank you for joining in. If you like these videos, please subscribe and hit that like button and hit the bell so you can know when other videos are coming up. And I'll leave a link to some other videos. And until the next adventure, stay safe and get outside and enjoy yourselves. Later.